Hey guys, it's Kendall here with Shamari. We're here to give you our opinion on what we think should be the next spin-off films in the Star Wars universe after Rogue One, a Star Wars story, which debuted in December of 2016. It's gotten rave reviews, and now people are wondering what's going to be the next Star Wars story. So
yeah, people want to know what the next one is going to be. Rogue One was a huge success. Of course, following Force Awakens, which was also a huge success. And, people want more. People like these extra stories. I like these extra stories. I'm sure Kendall does as well.
Yeah.
So now we're just going to speculate on what they can do, what we would like them to do. So we're going to kind of just rattle off some ideas for what they could do.
And we know Han Solo's coming out in 2018. Mm-hmm. We think a Boba Fett movie is coming out after that.
Yeah,
we'll have to see.
Boba Fett movie,
but
I guess.
We're going to give you other ideas that we think Lucasfilm should look at. At number 1, we have Obi-Wan. Mm-hmm. I think this is the one that it's the obvious pick. It's the one that everybody wants to see. Mm-hmm. Ewan McGregor is at pretty much the right age to play an Obi-Wan post Episode 3.
Yeah. He's at the right age. They've told this story quite a few times now. In the Kenobi novel, which is wonderful, I highly recommend it. In the Star Wars comic book, in which they've told this Obi-Wan Kenobi story on Tatooine.
There are clearly stories to tell on Tatooine with Kenobi.
Clearly.
So you have the right age. You have a character that, depending on how the sequel trilogy kind of unfolds, could be in the spotlight, and you have an actor that is willing to do it, apparently.
Yeah, ready and willing to do it.
It seems like the obvious move if you're Lucasfilm. At number 2, we have a Darth Plagueis, Palpatine, almost a Palpatine origin, similar to the book, the Darth Plagueis novel, which is now Legends. We know Darth Plagueis is a canon character because of Revenge of the Sith, but a lot of his story is considered not canon anymore. It was expanded universe material. So, Shamar, how do you feel about a Darth Plagueis movie?
I would love a Darth Plagueis movie. Ever since I read the Darth Plagueis novel, I feel like that's a story that should be told. I mean, the Emperor is an extremely important character in the Star Wars lore. He's kind of the center of all the calamity that happens.
Yeah.
I mean, so seeing how that person became that person and who that person's master was and how that master influenced this apprentice to become who he is, I think it's a very interesting story. James Luceno wrote an extremely interesting novel in Darth Plagueis that I really wish were canon, but it's too bad that's Legends now. But yeah, I think that's a story that could also be told in a successful spin-off movie.
Yeah, Palpatine, it's going to be interesting what they do. You can always recast. Obviously, you're not going to do a CGI where we have Ian McDermott.
Yeah, no.
The cover of the book, he kind of is supposed to look like Ian McDermott, right?
Yeah, it's really cool. It's like a young Ian McDermott or young Palpatine. It's very interesting.
So that's strange, but I think the story makes sense. I think for one, though, that would confirm that Plagueis isn't Snoke, which I hope is not the case, but we'll see. Number 3, though, we have a sequel trilogy movie. That could be anything. It could be something that takes place in the Force Awakens, Episode 8, Episode 9 trilogy. It could be a Finn and Poe, Dameron spin-off where they're going on some adventures in some buddy cop kind of form. It could be a Knights of Ren story, because we really don't know much about the Knights of Ren. We may know in Episode 8 and Episode 9. We may find out. It could be something surrounding Snoke's character, or even telling the story of Luke Skywalker's Jedi Academy.
Yeah, they could tell several stories in the sequel trilogy. I don't know. Well, first, I don't know how I feel about a Finn Poe buddy cop thing.
Yeah.
I just don't know how I feel about it. It sounds like Kendall. It sounds like you're on board with that.
I'm not saying I would be like, I'm all for this idea, but if we start to get to the point where we're like Marvel and we're getting like 2 Star Wars movies a year, why not?
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about them just going, why not? And just I want
That's
quality.
kind of the attitude they had with Rogue One. They were like, why not?
Rogue One was a story that could be told, though. It was. I feel like Rogue One was kind of a softball in terms of stories that could be told that people would be interested in. But yeah, I feel like they could do something in the sequel trilogy. I don't know what stories they would tell because the trilogy isn't even over yet. We've only gotten one movie in that era, but I'm sure there's a story they could come up with.
Number 4, we have Darth Bane. I know that's a character, Shamari, you are very familiar with and very much a fan of.
Yes, I'm a huge fan of the Darth Bane trilogy, written by Drew Karpyshyn, and it is. I just think it's really, really well done. And I'm really fascinated by the idea of similar to the Darth Plagueis novel, having a story centered around a Sith instead of a Jedi, and not a Sith that's like, good turned bad, like it's someone that was just bad, someone that went from being kind of neutral-ish to just being bad, and someone that wasn't corrupted from a young age or anything like that. They just grew up normally having force powers and then just turned evil. Yeah. Drafted by Imperials and then just turned into Sith.
Yeah.
So it was really, really interesting seeing him rise in the ranks.
Yeah.
From being kind of a nobody to like a sergeant in the Imperial Army, then to just becoming an apprentice, and then to becoming this huge Sith Lord.
Yeah. It would kind of help show the origins of the Rule of Two.
Yeah, the origins of the Rule of Two.
And now, do you think it should be a trilogy? Along with Obi-Wan, you think Obi-Wan and Darth Bane should be trilogies, or?
I don't know. I'm still very skeptical about an Obi-Wan trilogy. I think Darth Bane has the potential to be a trilogy. That's if they follow the story of the books.
Yeah.
It's a pretty long story, so I think that could definitely be a trilogy.
And at number 5, we have one that I'm more of a fan of than I think Shamari is, but I want to see a Darth Vader spinoff. It could take place after Episode 3, sometime around Rogue One, where he's kind of hunting down the last of the Jedi, going to different planets where all the Jedi have kind of, are in hiding, looking for all these different Jedi and kind of taking them out, and kind of seeing what we saw in Rogue One, which was, what is Darth Vader doing post Episode 3? Is he chilling on Mustafar, or is he, whatever he's doing? I want to see what Darth Vader was doing. They kind of never broached that in episodes 4 through 6.
Yeah, I feel like the only, appeal for me personally, of seeing a Darth Vader movie is just seeing him slaughter Jedi or slaughter people, because what else is he doing? Even in the Vader comic. And this isn't really a shot to the Vader comics. To be fair, I didn't finish it. I'm still but he's just kind of going around doing random stuff, and I'm just like, okay, this is all right, I guess. But yeah. That's just how I felt. Because when I'm reading a story, I want to see things that are significant. Things that are really wow. This is crazy.
And it doesn't have to be necessarily a Vader movie. It could be a movie where Vader is the central villain, but it could be something just following the remains of the Jedi Order, which could also be very interesting.
That's different.
Ahsoka could be part of that. It could be other characters that are Jedi. So I think there are a lot of good stories to tell in the Star Wars universe. Right. I don't know. Do you like a lot of these ideas?
That's interesting. I don't know. I'd have to see what they come up with. But I think they can tell a story in that era, because it is an interesting time. I even briefly mentioned Kanan. He's around during that time.
Another
as well.
Jedi.
I think that'll do it for this video, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. I'm Shamari, and for Kendall, we'll see you guys later.